Alrighty, alrighty. Let's do it. What's going on, Fantasy Faithful? This is your Commissioner Big League, aka Big Meech, coming at you to the doors, through the doors today, I guess you can say. It's in tribute to my man, Brungy, Team Brungola. Not only does he recognize a good trade when it's handed to him, but he's a big fan of the doors. And I suppose he likes garages and windows too, but big fan of the doors. And being as though he's in first place at 3-0, I decided to play a tune from the doors for him. And I know Tim is 3-0 also, he's undefeated. But frankly, I don't have any Caribbean music on my computer, and my Billy Ocean CD is scratched. So, got a quick week 3 wrap up going into week 4. Don't have much time because the kids are asleep, and any of you who have kids know that that can change in the blink of an eye. It's kind of quiet in the house, so I'm going to definitely go through this quickly because it's Saturday, as illustrated by my Phillies hat. Just got finished watching the Phillies decimate the St. Louis Cardinals, 11 to 4, 11 to 5, 6 or whatever, I don't know. Beat down behind a masterful outing by Roy Doc Halladay. Got hit hard in the first inning, and then he retired his final 21 batters he faced to lead to a standing ovation behind the Philly faithful up in Philadelphia. So, just wanted to say shout out to the Phillies. And the best thing about Doc Halladay is he doesn't play for the Yankees. I hate the damn Yankees. But anyway, wrapping up week 3. Team Believe That remained undefeated, 101.6 to 68.7, beating the Philly Roots. My man Jimmy Jones, Philly's finest in blue, went down. 101.6 to 68.7. Top scorer for Merlin, Team Believe That again. Tom Brady, definitely doing big things for the boys from the Caribbean. He's unbelievable, and as I said last week, Tim is just riding that pony like a $2 hooker on Hooker's Point. Top scorer for Philly Roots was Ryan Fitzpatrick, who surprisingly is one of the better quarterbacks in the league this year, fantasy-wise, and actually, real life-wise, he's doing really well. 25.4 points for Ryan Fitzpatrick, but it was all for naught as Team Maryland had 5 guys in double figures, led by Tom Brady, and he put the smackdown on my man Jimmy Jones. San Antonio top-notch weight taking on the Tro. I really don't know what that is. Will, if you find your brother somewhere, tell him to let me know what that the Tro stands for, bro. Either way, he won again, 127.2 to 109.6, sending Chris, who's usually ahead of his class, to the back of the class. All of you who've seen Chris know that his head is quite big. He has, if he was to get a Phillies hat, he'd have to sew 2 size 10s together to make a hat to fit his head. Anyway, Matthew 7-1, 127.2. Top scorer for the Tro was Wes Welker, who had, I believe it was 216 yards on 16 catches, and route to 36.6 points, 2 touchdowns as well. That man is just amazing, and he's just hooking up with Tom Brady with reckless abandon. San Antonio top-notch weight, or whatever that is, led by Darren McFadden, who not surprisingly, because the kid is talented, but out of nowhere, is the number 1 running back in fantasy so far this season. That was a great pickup by the computer for Chris White, who again got the number 1 pick and proceeded to miss the draft. So the computer had your back. I swear, God takes care of fools and babies, and C. White, you damn sure ain't no baby. So congrats again, getting Adrian Peterson and Darren McFadden. Go figure. Anyway, Philly takeover, my man Milo Dabney. This was the game of the week. 108 to 106 over Team Bust Your Ass. Nelson Boyce making move after move on the waiver wire and making trades. I love it, Nell. It still came up a little short, but you are definitely on the right track. Your team is getting better. You probably are the strongest. Wait a minute, am I? No, I'm not winless. So you're the strongest 0-3 team in the league, probably. And looking at the records, I think you're the only 0-3 team. So I'm not a liar. Nell was led by Mike Wallace, 21.4 points, hooked up a couple times, found the end zone twice. The Steelers defense led Philly takeover with 20.5 points. LaShawn McCoy also had a big game for Milo Dabney and his team from Philadelphia. Great game there, 108 to 106. But the game I'm most interested in, got to take a sip of water before this one because I got a lot to say. I beat up on my man. Oh, not me, I'm sorry. The Gridiron Gangsters. The Gridiron Pranksters. The Scrap Metal Sissies, as I like to call them, a.k.a. the boys from Carlisle, led by Carlisle Peak. One of my most just worst arch enemies in this league. We're actually pretty cool outside of fantasy football, but inside fantasy football, it's war, and I hate his guts. But anyway, he lost, as I predicted. I got my Negro Dominus on, and I predicted that my man Derek Hostler would get out of the winless Mobile and get a win in the win column. And wouldn't you know it, it was against the trash-talking, front-running Gridiron Pranksters. Carlisle Peak went down in a big way, getting smacked up. 131 to 92.3. Wow, that's just smashing. It's almost 40 points there for all your guys. You know, all that. To read the message boards, I don't even need to repeat what he was saying about how his drafted teams, he had more points on the bench than his starters, and he hoped nobody traded with me. And then, wouldn't you know, I supply my man. That sounds like the Steve Nash assist of the night. I supply my man, and this light my fire is getting a little old. That's better. I supply my man Derek with a little Aaron Rodgers. He gives me a Ray Rice, and we both come out victorious. Him in a big way. Top scorer for my man, the boys from Brooklyn, was the Ravens defense with 37.5 points. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, had 30.3 points. You can thank me later for that, Derek. I'm glad you beat Carlisle first and foremost with that trade. Darren Sproles led the Scrap Metal Sissies with 23 points. Surprisingly, though, that kid's doing pretty well. He's usually like a spot player in a Reggie Bush mold, but with Drew Brees at the helm, he's doing big things. But it still wasn't enough as the Scrap Metal Sissies got smacked down 131 to 92.3. Have a nice slice of humble pie there, Carlisle. Hopefully you can get back in the win column in week 4. Definitely stay away from the message board. All right, eventual champions, yours truly. I won last week, 92.2. You know, I wasn't really worried about that so much, so it's kind of, you know, in the back of my mind or whatever. And all you brothers that think I'm not going to win this league, exactly. All you brothers that think I'm going to win this league, forget you. Just like my man CeeLo said. Beat up on my man Mr. Mojo Rising for that whack-ass trade he made with Tim. That surprisingly none of you sounded off about. If I would have made that trade, and yeah, Tim, I'm saying it. If I make that trade, all you guys are trying to take my firstborn. Now all of a sudden, you know, MVP, you know, candidate still, and champion, and all this other crap makes the trade, and y'all quiet, man. Y'all make me sick. Can't stand y'all. His shit stinks just like the rest of us, and that was a shitty ass trade. And Will, I don't care if you did make funny jokes about Arian Foster missing training sessions. Will's a trainer for the Spurs, so you know he used to get on us when we sprained our ankle and we missed the training session, and he kind of, you know, used that little tidbit back there to make a funny joke about trading Arian Foster. Ha ha, it wasn't funny, Will. He gave up on a great pick, and tomorrow against Pittsburgh he's gonna do work for Johnny Knox, a guy that's not even starting. I think he's returning kicks for the Chicago Bears, and none of you bastards said anything. Only one that has an excuse is Brungy, because he probably doesn't even know how to use the message board just yet, but he's 3-0, so he doesn't need the message board. Mojo Rising, led by Matt Shaw, 34 points. Top scorer for eventual champions me was the Cardinals, 25.9 points. I dropped them, didn't need them after that. It was a strong matchup against Seattle. Figured I'd go with them. They gave me some points. Gotta win. Carlisle, I'm no longer winless. Hate all you want. And finally, the Battle of the Unbeaten. This was the game of the week. Sorry, take over and bust your ass, but this was the game of the week because both teams were undefeated. Team Brungo led 2-0, took on or played host to not them again. Chocolate Thunder Mike Finley, one of the most, let's just say, clutch shooters in NBA history. Couldn't come up with 2 more three-pointers as he lost by roughly 6 points. 103.8 to 97.5. Top scorer for Finley was Matt Stafford, who led a furious comeback he led the furious comeback from of the Detroit Lions against the Minnesota Vikings. He hooked up with Calvin Johnson twice in the second half for big points there. He led the team thinly with 29.9 points. And Team Brungy was led by none other than Drew Brees, who seems to have shaken off all the rust from 2010. And he's just hit the ground with both feet running, doing big things for Team Brangola. 35.9 points, one of the top scorers in fantasy football this year. Going on to week 4 really quickly. Don't want to spend too much time on this. The eventual champions traveled to San Antonio top-notch weight to beat up on Chris White and his large hats and terrible team. He's probably not even going to pay attention. I guarantee you, he probably won't even set his roster. He'll probably start somebody that's out. You guys take a look at that and see. Good Iron Gangsters traveled to the Caribbean islands, St. Croix, to take on Team Belida and his undefeated Team Merlin, whatever. I don't know. His Dats, Team Dats. Team Buster Ass travels to Chi-Town to take on Mr. Mojo Rising. Even though he has a cool picture as his avatar, he makes lousy trades. Bust his ass now. I predict you get in the win column against this guy, and you both will be 1-3, and Will be one of the worst teams in the league. Mojo Rising, Mojo falling. Philly Takeover is taking on the Brooklyn Boys. Both teams sit at 1-2, but Team Brooklyn Boys is on a roll as they got out of the winless column last week. Actually, Team Takeover did too in that close game against Nelson. So this should be quite exciting. Both teams seem destined for greatness. I got to give them my little, NBC Monday Night Football hype up. Both teams seem destined for greatness as there's a lot of bad blood between these two clubs, and it starts at the top. Milo Dabney doesn't know but can't stand Derek Hostler, and he can issue bounty after bounty on anybody who can take out the quarterback of that team. I don't know. The Tro takes on 2-1. The battle of the 2-1s. The Tro taking on not them again. If anyone can find Matthew Sevening, tell him to put the pin back in a grenade and get in front of a computer, set his lineup, because Finn is coming with he rarely loses 2 in a row. So he's coming with just say hell's coming with him. He's coming for that win. That should be a great battle there. Philly Roots traveling to Team Brangola. Brangola looking to stay undefeated. And Team Jimmy Jones, the Philly Roots, he's looking to get to 500 at 2-2. Lots of action been going on. You guys have been, other than Chris White, been on the message board, the waiver wire, making trades, man. That's what makes the league fun. Hope you guys enjoy these little whack videos I'm making. This just gives me a chance to sit around and talk, and hope you guys listen to it. But either way, have fun with the league. Check out those other side games like the Pigskin Pick'em and the Olympic Survivor Pool and stuff. Those are kind of cool too. So check those out and have some fun with them. Hope you guys, wish you guys all the best luck this week. And we'll see you in week 5, all right? It's the commish. I'm signing off. Go Phillies. That's right, baby. Holla.